to say thank you both for taking the time to come and talk to me. I got a chance to see episode 1.
Really? What did you think?
The Book of John Gray.
Yes.
First of all, I love the kids. Second of all, I also love how you are helping people, and answering some of their prayers. And I know that on the first episode, I forget her name.
Al Dreamer.
Al Dreamer. That was such a unique name.
Yes.
But Al Dreamer was losing faith. Do you come across that a lot?
Yeah, I do. I come across people who are struggling in their faith or losing faith because faith really isn't black and white. It is shades of gray. There are prayers that I've prayed that weren't answered. And where faith kicks in is that God's no is as righteous as his yes. Mm-hmm. And that's a challenge for a pastor, because there are certain things that I thought were great prayers, like God heal my grandmother from cancer. The answer was not on this side of heaven. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I think that for me as a pastor, and for my wife who is pastoral, she may not have the ordination papers, but when I didn't have the ordination papers, I was sharing the gospel and doing what I do the same way that she does. You come across people who are broken, and the reality is, it's not my job to be like, suck it up, you'll be all right. It's to empathize and to identify with the pain of other people. And the best way to do that is to have been broken yourself. Mm-hmm. And so when we come across people who are struggling in their faith, we love them, we walk with them, and we encourage them, we speak life to them, and it balances out. God does prove his word faithful.
Now, you have been following your faith, and I heard, you started this at a very young age. You wanted to become a pastor at, I don't know, it hit you at 10, 7?
Well, I was 7 when I was directing one of the choirs at my church. And my mother was a church pianist. By 13, I knew I was called to ministry, but I never wanted to be a preacher. I wanted to be a singer. Luther Vandross was my idol. I wanted to sing.
Oh, you know how to sing too?
Yeah, I used to sing with Kirk Franklin and the family.
Wow. Why did I know that?
I don't know. Tell your research team.
I know. I got to get my research team up. Thank you.
Google.
Put me in check right now. Hello.
But so singing, acting, those were my passions. And when I was called to ministry, I was very sad, because some of the people that I saw in ministry, what I saw on the platform was very different from the person they were off of it. Mm. And at 13, I said, I don't want to be that. And God said, that's why I'm calling you. Mm. And so I said, whatever gifts I have, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be authentically me. And that's being faithful to who he created me to be, is exactly why I believe I'm here now. Mm-hmm. That I didn't try to conform to what people thought a preacher should be or a pastor should be. I'm just me. And whatever God wants to do with this life of mine, he can do it. But I'm not going to change who I am to fit the construct that people think a pastor should fit. Mm-hmm. When God saved my soul, he didn't erase my personality. So I'm still John. I'm just John unlocked. Mm-hmm. The same thing with my wife. When I met her, her passion, her gift is dance. This is what she does. And if I try to take that passion and that gift away, it takes a part of who she is at her core. And I'm not God. I didn't create her. So my job is to unlock her gifts so she can be the best version of herself. So I think that the idea of being a pastor, based on, people's perception of pastors, is very like this. But we in the house laughing all the time, joking. I'm cracking jokes, making crazy faces. I'm dancing in my boxers to make her, not be mad at me anymore. And so, for me, I never wanted to be a pastor, but when I embraced it, when I knew that I could be authentically me, that's when I knew this is what I'm called to do.
You brought up a really good point, and this could, you could address this too, Aventer. But a lot of people have been deterred from, seeking ministry or their faith because of the pastors aren't who they say they are, or they faking the funk or taking it, there's been some scandal there. Yeah. How do you, still, you said you're you, but what do you tell those people that feel like, well, that's the reason why I don't want to go to church or, be a part of a church?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I will say that, first of all, people should never put human beings in the place of a deity. You can't put a man or a woman in place of God. Unfortunately, some people who do ministry in various faiths want people to worship them. The reason why I think we've been blessed is because we deflect. The best diamonds don't just reflect light, they refract it. So when the light comes in, it actually disperses it in multiple directions. So if you come to me talking about, oh, you blessed me. No, I didn't. That's the Lord. I'm a mess. You blessed me as a husband. Let me tell you something. We argue all the time. I'm still learning. I was selfish. I'll tell him. So I immediately diffuse. You're not going to put me on a platform that I can't sustain.
Right.
The only one that needs worship is God. And so for me, those people who, say, I knew he wasn't nothing. Here's the thing. When Jesus died, and this is just my faith, he died for sin. Why? Because I'm a mess. This is me talking. I'm not trying to make anybody else believe what I believe. But when I think about that, people call people who sin hypocrites. Me sinning doesn't make me a hypocrite. It makes me human. A hypocrite is not a person who says one thing and does another. That's being human. A hypocrite is a person who says one thing and is another. And so if I start with my humanity and I start with my brokenness, then you don't have anything to attack me with because I've already belittled myself. And more preachers should do the same. Stop faking the funk and telling these people that you're perfect and you never struggle, and tell them the truth. Show your scars, show your flaws. And I think that's where people will have an authentic encounter and they will go to the divine nature of God on their own.
Oh, hey.
That's where we, as a couple, are very comfortable because being authentic, real, and transparent is our mantra. I mean, there's no other way to be. People are always worried about TV and how it's going to paint a picture of you. Well, we don't have any say in the editing process, so whatever you see is what you're going to get. And we're not worried about it because we've already, like he said, deflected the attention from us and pointing it right back to God every possible way we can. In every instance, in every case, it's not about us. God uses my husband as the vessel to which to get his message out. He uses me as a vessel to get his message out. We are not the perfect ones, and we don't place ourselves here because it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
It really is. And the reason, like you said, why people aren't, champions of wanting to be in ministry, and because they're detoured by what they see and people being different from what they display, is because they don't get a real encounter. If they see somebody who is saying they're perfect, that's hard. That's unattainable. So people just shy away from it and they go live their lives any kind of way.
Now, was it hard for people to receive you since you were so real? Because sometimes the truth, they say you can't handle the truth. When people come and they're real, then they think, oh, well, they don't know how to receive it. Was that something that you encountered?
I think for us, we use wisdom. Of course, we're not saying just air your dirty laundry every single thing you do, because sin isn't owed any explanation. I think you take those moments and those pearls of wisdom where you were able to grow through a moment and it can help somebody else. You use those. I'm not saying just go out and share everything, because everybody's human. Everybody sins. I mean, that's what happened in the garden. So it's inevitable that we are going to sin. We're going to make mistakes, but you learn from them, you grow from them, and that is what we use. Wisdom in what we share and how we share it, and it's all in the delivery. That's how I feel.
Now, I saw a little snippet, and we don't know yet, but we touched on there was some health going on. John, expound on that. What's going on there? Are you rebelling against taking your pills here?
Well, in that episode at the beginning, I think you want to see it. But there were some health challenges. There have been some health challenges because I've never taken really good care of myself. I've been touring or traveling since I was 22 years old. I'm 43. So 21 years of my life has been on the road. So on stages, you're hungry at night, you eat, then you go to sleep.
Right.
It's a bad combination. Multiply that over 2 decades, and you're going to have some invariable challenges. So my wife has been very strict, and as much as I try to make her laugh, because that's the way I diffuse serious issues, she's like, I'm not going to laugh this off. And a part of it is diet, a part of it is some medical things. And I remember one time my wife confronted me and she said, "You don't love me. You don't love our kids." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Everything I do is for you." She said, "No, everything you do is for you. Because every time you eat something that's not good for you, you're saying that your family is not as important as this meal." And it hit me that the decisions I make affect her and my children. If something happens to me, all my kids are going to have are videos of their dad preaching and memories from people saying how whatever they think I was. But if I'm that kid, if I'm my son and daughter, I'm growing up, if my dad was so good, then how come you didn't keep him alive? And and that kind of thing. I've got to think about how what I do affects and impacts them, because we do have a legacy, and I don't want anybody else walking my daughter down the aisle. And I don't want anybody else teaching my son how to be a man. I'm the one that should be doing that. And so throughout the course of the season, we deal with those health challenges head on. So you're just going to have to watch.
Yeah,
April 15th, 10 p.m. 9 Central.
On. Yes. Now, how did you guys get on OWN? Like, did Oprah see you and say, I want to pick up a show with you? You guys are
I saw
so
her driving
real?
down the street in Chicago. I got in front
For
of the
real?
car and I
No,
started
you
dancing. I
lying.
was like, Oprah, give me a show.
That's exactly what happened. We have some friends, Jason Kennedy and Rich E. Wilkerson. Richie Wilkerson and his wife, Dawn Cherie, had a show called Rich and Faith on Oxygen. And we were doing a conference in Miami. Jason is a host on E! News. Really good friends of my husband, and then subsequently me once we became married. And he just talked about, hey, John, people need to know your family. And I mean, you have the ability to grab hearts and cross the cultural barriers, be a bridge builder. He was like, and you're funny and you make church, attractive and all of this kind of stuff. And we're like, yeah, or whatever. But I mean, he literally had a thought and we were like, well, okay, we'll explore it, and had some meetings and literally met with a lot of networks, about 8, and about 6 of them wanted the show.
Oh,
but
that's
when
awesome.
when OWN said yes, we felt very comfortable, because Oprah cares about her platform. You don't see a lot of foolishness on her network, and we're just not that type of people. No disrespect to how people choose to obtain their money, but for us, we wanted a home that was very safe for what we believe, the church that we're associated with, Lakewood Church, and also just our family name, and we felt strongly that was the home for us after prayer, that it would be the one that we would go with. So that's how it happened.
Now, how long was it to the pitch to you finally get it?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. No. Tell it better than me.
We playing toss the mic today.
Yeah, when we did the first pitch to the executives at OWN, there's about a month and a half time where they make their decisions. And so on one Wednesday night, I'm an associate pastor at Lakewood Church in Houston with Pastor Joel Osteen. So we're primarily tasked with building our midweek service. So at the end of the service, and I very rarely do this, I just said something prophetically. I said, some of y'all need to check your phone. Your miracle is on your phone. Check your text messages. Check your voicemail. Come on. Come on. And we went to the back after the service, and I had a missed call from one of the executives. I called, and a text, and I called, and she said, are you sitting down? And I said, yes. She said, Oprah saw the pitch.
And she didn't make it through the end.
She didn't make it through the end. She wants to know if you could come to her house to film Super Soul Sunday.
Which airs, by the way, Easter.
And which airs April 16th at 11 a.m., 10 p.m. Central.
Okay.
Thank you. 10 a.m. Central.
Thank you.
Thank you. 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Central. Thank you. April 16th, Easter, sunrise. Have your breakfast and have me in your house.
Oh, that is awesome.
And so what they said is, can you come to her house like next Thursday? I was like, let me think about it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so they asked, can you come to Oprah's house to tape Super Soul Sunday? I was like, let me pray about it. Yes. And so my wife and I flew, and we taped Super Soul Sunday. When that taping was over, she puts the mic down and says, now it's time for us to go to the house to discuss further business. She invited us to her home for tea.
Wow, for tea.
And I was like, yes, ma'am, Miss Winfrey, we so glad to be here. I was just glad. Thank you, Miss Winfrey. Yes, ma'am. I'll be right up to the house. And
Give you some tea.
so I'm gonna say the next part,
That's funny.
and I'm gonna reverse 2 months to my wife waking me up to a dream she had before any of this happened. She had a dream, and she said, "Babe, I had a dream that I was walking with Oprah." Now, we had not talked to the network. We knew none of this. She said, "I was walking with Oprah down a path, and we were holding hands." And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet, babe." And my mind was like, she had bad chili. she ate some bad pasta. Just having dreams about Oprah. I'm right next to you. Ain't got no dream about daddy. So we go to her home. My wife has on heels, and Oprah says, "Let me give you some slippers." And she said, "Because I'm getting ready to take you somewhere, and I'm gonna let my wife finish the story."
Uh-oh. Y'all wear the same size, you and Oprah?
I don't know.
She might have multiple sizes around
Right.
hanging out. But gosh, we go up to her main house, and you could tell that they aren't used to that happening after a taping, because people are like, they're going to your house. You know. But anyway, we go up there, and it's the same scenery. It's the patio, and looking out over all of this beautiful green pasture of grass and land and flowers.
I was gonna say flowers.
And it was exactly what I saw in my dream. And I was like, John,
Wow.
this is what I saw in my dream. And she takes my hand, and I take off my heels and I put the slippers on, and we walk down to her little rose garden, and we do a little tour until we approach her tea house, where we talked and we just got to know each other. And she got a notepad out, and she was like, "So about this show," she said, "what would make it different from anything else on television?" And we had some great moments of, transparency between all of us that were present. And right there, she was like, "Okay, well, it's a yes. Kind of like, I'm going to green light it right here, and I'll catch everybody up." And so we
Wow.
literally started
Oprah
screaming.
Greenlit our show herself.
Right then,
In her home.
right in that moment. And we asked, because we're inquisitive, we're like, does this ever happen, to people that were around there? We're like, that would be a no. But no, it was a beautiful moment.
Yes.
And an unforgettable one. And I remember,
For the rest of your life.
yeah, my husband, that look in his eye was just like, wow, God, thank you.
It's something that, when you want to record that, that's just so.
We have pictures.
We have
Okay,
pictures,
you
but
have
we
pictures.
didn't record because it was just a sacred
It was
moment.
so right. Yeah.
I didn't want it to. It would have felt cheap. You're like, hold on, say that again.
Right. Please,
It was
Oprah,
just-
one more time on
it's-
Snapchat.
It's something that I'll pass down. We'll pass down to our children. They can pass down to their grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm about to cry, Nekia Nichelle. Don't make me cry, Nekia Nichelle, on Chicago Now.
Well, that's my whole, I
But
try to bring out the tears. Out
Yeah.
of it, like Oprah.
Stop eliciting my tears, Nekia. We don't even know each other like that. But when I think about what God did, he showed her a dream, a quick vision, and then it came to pass, and he showed her something that included her. And what that does is it validates the choice that I made in marrying her. We've been married 6 years.
Oh, wow.
We have 2 beautiful children. Right now, they're both 4 years old. Don't ask.
Yes. I
Do
know.
it.
Yeah,
They're
are
11
they
months
twins?
apart. Yeah, they're 11 months because that's how I roll. They're 11 months apart. Bang, bang. And so when I think about how God orchestrated these moments, I feel like we are at the moment where eternity intersects time, where the things that I prayed for before I met her, things she prayed for before she met me, they converged at one moment. And all of that brought us here right now to talk to you. There are no accidental moments. There are no accidental lives. I don't believe in serendipity. Everything God does has a purpose. And I think our purpose today was to encourage you, because the
Yes.
dreams that are in you are bigger than this
Can
current
you feel
platform.
the dreams in me?
I feel it. I'm
You-
serious.
you do.
I know that you have a heart not only to do this, but to do it on a global scale. But you have to be faithful in these
Don't
moments.
don't make me
No,
cry,
I'm
John.
not the only
Listen,
one that's
listen.
gonna cry. No, you're gonna receive
No,
this.
no,
You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And I think what God did today in sending my wife and I is to let you know what's coming next. Your dreams have not been forgotten. They are not delayed. God is developing you, and at the right moment, the world's gonna know your name.
Look,
You
look,
ready?
y'all. He tried it. I think that's a wrap.
Keep staying faithful right here.
Oh my
And
God.
let God grow you here so you'll be prepared. You want to be prepared because sometimes we'll pray for things we're not ready for.
Right.
And God won't answer because he's trying to give us the grace we need to get there. But be wise, have wisdom in your choices, and stay planted right here. Watch God trust you here. And when it's time,
Y'all gave me chills. I'm being real. I'm trying to hold back stuff because I can't believe you feel that. I'm so shocked
I
because
definitely
I
did.
have so much like bottled up, and there's times where I feel like, am I just wasting my time here?
Nope.
No, you are not.
You know,
You're not.
no one's seeing or hearing me. I'm a little thing in Chicago.
Here's the thing. It's not the no one. As long as God sees you, that's all that matters. Because we don't rely on people for our growth anyway. You let
True.
God do that. At
True.
the appointed time, yeah, the promotion comes from God.
And I have to say this because you were like, I'm just in Chicago right now. My wife knows this story very well. I was a youth pastor in New Jersey, and I was not only the youth pastor, but I was the janitor at that church. So when I would finish speaking to the youth, as the people were leaving, I would get my broom, I would get my dustpan, I'd get a mop, and I would sweep floors, and I would clean toilets, and I was faithful. And I didn't know if God would ever mature me or take me past that place. But if he never did, I was going to be faithful in that basement. And I scrubbed toilets like it was the last toilet. I cleaned floors like they were the last floors because that was the house of the Lord. And every night I drove home at 2 a.m, grateful to have an apartment with 1 bedroom to go to, with a blue Ford Taurus 99 with a cracked rear bumper. But I was grateful for that. Those were the moments that made me. That's why you don't see us walking around not speaking to people. How you gonna serve God but can't speak to people?
Right. True.
Humility
Yeah.
is what God did in our development. My wife comes from a small town, Dothan, Alabama. Beautiful town, wonderful parents. And those are the things, her love for people and her commitment and her humility. And that's why I think we have the platform, because God wants to show you, you don't have to run over people and treat people like crap to get somewhere. Treat people right.
Yes.
Love people.
Yes.
Everybody has value. And that's how we roll. Don't get me
Amen.
started. I'm not shouting.
He's preaching right now.
He's gonna start running around here right now. So good. Yes.
No, but it was great talking to you guys. I feel like I could sit and talk to you guys forever. There's so much to talk about, and I wanted to kind of address your parents moving in. I know that's gonna cause some like fun, but like moments, you know, it has to be an adjustment. But you're so loving and embraceful. I can see why people want to stay the night and live.
First of all, we just love people, and if you roll with us, you become family. We have late night sleepovers. We watch movies. We just love.
Bake cookies.
We bake cookies that we shouldn't be eating
Not
late
good
at night.
for the. Yeah.
Not good. But I think for us, it's just living. Good living with good people. We don't want to isolate ourselves from people. You grow with each other. You grow in community, and that's just who we are. You wanna
Yes.
come over?
Yes.
Play?
Can I come over?
Come to
Please?
Houston.
Yes. You know what's so funny? You mentioned Houston. Oh my God. I just applied to Fox.
26?
Yes.
Well,
In
I'm
Houston.
making a phone call for you.
Word on the street is they're creating a position that's a feature reporter / traffic reporter. And I do traffic on the radio here. And so someone kind of gave me the scoop and said, hey, reach out to the EP and see if,
Call for you.
for real.
We'll make a call for you.
And
I
so,
told you there's no accidents.
listen, this is what's so crazy, John. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind living in Houston. And ever since then, I keep seeing Houston this, Houston that. And I'm like, why is now
And then
Houston?
we come, and we're from Houston.
And you're from Houston. And then you're, wow.
With us watching the show.
Yes. 15th on OWN.
on the Book of John Gray. And then you also need to get my husband's new book that comes out April 18th
Okay.
called The Book of John. Called that too, but I am number 8.
Okay, I am.
It's
number 8.
available for pre-order right now.
Okay, so
Anywhere books are sold.
anywhere books are sold, they could check out John's new book, I Am 8.
I am number 8.
I am number 8.
Absolutely.
And then the book of
John Gray on
on April 15th.
Tax Day and Book of John Gray.
Yes. So
Super Soul Sunday.
And Super Soul Sunday, Easter.
y'all got a lot going on.
11 a.m. to 10
Well, they'll have to tune in.
Yes.
And anytime you're in Chicago, you know where you're coming, right?
Yes. To you.
Coming to see you.
Thank you.
Anytime you're in
Houston, you're coming to
job,
see.
You'll be with us.
I'm being with the Grays.
Yay.
Yay.
Come on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Frank.
Wait a minute, Adam, put my jacket on.
Were you a singer once?
No.
She is a great singer.
Really?
She's shy.
Look at her,
She's a wonderful-
Tracy. Stop telling.
Tracy will tell you. Ask
For real, you know how to sing for real? Come on.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I'm shy about it.
Oh, so you do know how to sing?
Maybe, but you know.
She's shy, but she did a duet with Layla Hathaway. So
Stop.
let's go ahead and get that.
Come on. That is an impressive
John,
thing.
you are so wrong for that. First of all, we were playing in the back after Super Bowl Gospel, BET. He was talking about, I used to love your song Angel that you did, but I hear it every morning because she keeps hitting her snooze. So I started playing it, and then she started singing it, and I started singing it with her. It wasn't like we did a duet. But we didn't record a duet, John.
I
Jeez.
did a duet.
Here, get the nice mic.
Now, don't forget to hold the mic up to your mouth. Because, see, that was some great information. I'm pretty sure the people would love to know that Aventer did a duet, a low-key duet. We'll call it a very low-key duet with Layla Hathaway.
Control.